ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We just want to welcome you back here to the Low High Podcast. I'm Sele.
And I'm Marcello.
And if you're feeling high,
if you're feeling low,
you've always got a place to go. Thank you for joining us.
Pretty exciting episode today.
Oh yeah? What are we talking about?
We're talking about self-awareness and how that plays into dating and interviews.
Bro.
Which are the same thing, kind of.
I don't know. Well, I guess self-awareness is weird because I had to research it because I wrote this article on it. It wasn't a lot of stuff you could find on self-awareness studies, because even trying to measure self-awareness is a little bit weird, honestly. But these people, they conducted this study. What was her name again? Let me look it up.
I remember reading that quite a few people are not self-aware at all.
An organizational psychologist or psychiatrist named Tasha Urich. I hope I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sorry if she ever listens to this.
She's definitely listening.
Oh my God, I hope not. I do not understand why my internet is taking so long to load this thing.
It's alright. We got nothing but time. It's still not loading,
bro. There it is. She estimated that only 10 to 15% of the people that they studied out of nearly 5,000 participants were actually self-aware. It's just weird to think that, bro, only 10 to 15% of the people in the world are self-aware. That means 90% of people don't have self-awareness. And
that's crazy.
That's crazy to me. But what were you about to say?
I'm kind of wondering how we're defining self-awareness, because I, in a way, feel that I'm self-aware, and I think you are too, but maybe I'm not. Maybe that's me just thinking I'm self-aware, but me being very far from it.
It's weird because, according to the study, introspection and, self-awareness aren't the same thing. Because, I feel people think because I can now reflect on my actions and what I did and why I did it, I'm self-aware. But the problem is that people, can reflect on their actions and not learn a single thing.
That's very true. They can not put any of the learnings into play or into action.
Because you have to think, people will be completely wrong about something, find out new information, change their opinion, and continue acting like they were never wrong.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
So I feel trying to define self-awareness is kind of I feel everybody will have what do you think makes a person self-aware? If they know they're being annoying, or if they can read the room, or if they can take a hint, stuff like that. And I feel the problem with self-awareness is that we as people have to deal, and I feel it's different in every society, obviously, but we as people have to deal with a lot of unspoken rules, or it's just a thing you do, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Dude, reading the room I thought would be much more popular or common among people, and they just don't. People do not do it. It's crazy. But I guess that's not so much self-awareness, just kind of awareness in general.
True. I could categorize it in two different kinds. There's internal and external self-awareness. Internal being you obviously understanding what you do, why you do it. And external self-awareness being about do you understand how people see you? External self-awareness is interesting to me because bro, a lot of people aren't honest about their opinions. Mm-hmm. Especially of their friends or the people that they're with, because bro, in college, God knows how many people would be this is my best friend, and go and talk just the absolute foulest stuff about them behind their back, which is crazy as hell.
Yeah.
No.
And we're so unnecessarily polite to people. We're always making excuses on other people's behalf, or we're always softening what we want to say just to kind of not break any social norms there. So you probably have to be harder on yourself if you want to be externally self-aware.
True, but it shouldn't be too hard on yourself.
No, you can't be too hard on yourself.
But like the thing is that you need to understand that like, oh, people are judging you, and they're like, because the thing is that we live in an age where like hating is cool. Like people are like, oh yeah, only God, because I saw this video like, oh yeah, maybe only God can judge you, but I'm definitely gonna go talk about you with my friends and we're gonna have a great time. And the thing is that like, oh, and if you call somebody out on like being like, oh, if you say you're a cunt to somebody, like they'll be like, yeah, and literally,
That's crazy. Yeah, they like own the bad personality trait.
yeah, because the thing is that people aren't punching people in the face as much anymore. Like people still are, but I feel like, especially with people who like talk shit online and stuff like that, like the unspoken danger of violence, I think like is always like present in society, because you got to think of the police, you got to think of like laws in general. Like what is a law if not a threat? You know what I'm saying? But
That's a
like,
very good way to describe it.
I feel like unspoken rules among people, they're like, oh yeah, if you've broken these social norms, we will be talking about it. But bro, if we start talking about what you've done, then everybody else is the bad guy.
Yeah. Ooh.
But I don't know. I feel like if you want to talk about a lack of self-awareness, I feel like brands, like companies right now, are showing like the biggest lack of external self-awareness ever.
I never even thought to apply this to things other than people. This is very interesting. Keep going.
Because like, for example, right now in the games industry, like according to the last like game dev industry report, like 95% of studios or something are planning to release live service games. And bro, these games as a service, right now the industry is in the middle of a lot of layoffs. This games as a service thing, I feel like really got out of hand quite early, but people didn't understand that until like I think Fortnite came out. But the thing is that Fortnite is a bad example, because Fortnite, you can buy a Fortnite battle pass one time, and then as long as you play the game, you never have to buy another one ever again, because you can earn the currency to buy more. But other games don't do anything similar to that, because bro, we're living in a time where a Call of Duty like skin pack is $20. That is absurd.
I saw with like Overwatch, because I was a big Overwatch player, like their charms in the game ended up costing more than the charm you can like than to buy the charm in real life.
Bro, what?
Like you can buy the charm for like literally $5 from their store, but if you bought it in the game, it actually ended up costing more.
That is
which
crazy.
is crazy.
Nah, man. Like I don't understand why they're doing stuff like that, because bro, games are meant to be fun, bro. I honestly feel like because when we were growing up, like people didn't honestly realize like we had MMOs, like there was like World of Warcraft and stuff that was popular when we were growing up. But I feel like not every company really realized just how much money that people are willing to pay for like any kind of advantage in these games, because they're like, oh, it's my disposable income. Let me dispose of it. Because bro, there's people who, bro, okay, I played a lot of Destiny 2. I have like 1,000+ hours in that game. And bro, I've spent maybe like $300 on it total, because I played it for like years. But bro, there's people, and like Destiny is like a very big example when it comes to like games as a service, because like statistically speaking, that game should have failed so many times, but it just didn't, because it has such a ride or die fan base. And bro, I remember I went on a Destiny subreddit one time, and this dude was like, yo, I'm never going to stop playing this game. And I'm like, bro, because the thing is that I had you can put a lot of hours into a video game and still like live your life, like go do stuff, bro. But there's people who, as soon as these games come out, that's all they're doing. That's all they're sitting down on. That's all they're spending their money on. And also, for some people, there's also like a whole section of people that buying stuff kind of just makes sense for, because obviously you don't have the time to fucking sit down and grind video games when you're an adult. And I feel like the industry is aware of this, but it's handled it in a way that literally just forces the consumer to dish out as much money as possible for stuff that's honestly pretty mediocre because it's like, oh, you want to change the color of your gun or something? Pay $15. And it's like, bro, you can buy in there's entire games you can buy for $15. And I feel like a lot of this stuff isn't even on the developers. Like I was saying, like on the corporate side of things, people are like, I feel like there's people like in all these offices who are like, yes, people want to spend $200 on an incomplete game. Bro, do you ever like pre-order games?
I used to, and then after, like, I got burned bad with like Cyberpunk, so I was like,
oh, you pre-ordered Cyberpunk?
I did, because I was really stoked. I was really stoked about it, and I pre-ordered it for like console, and it just shit the bed completely. And I also pre-ordered For Honor. I don't know if you remember that game.
Bro, it's actually still going. It's pretty good.
It died completely, but it came back. So like, I'm happy about that. But yeah, I don't pre-order games anymore. I think that's not a good idea.
Like, people are willing to drop a game that's like not finished and just expect people to pay full price and then buy more and more and more stuff. And the thing is that, bro, there's people that will. There's people that will, and we know that there are people that will.
There's enough people that will.
There's enough people that will.
Like, that's why everyone keeps doing it now, because they're like, oh, we can just drop unfinished games. We'll just put everyone on subscription, or we have to buy a battle pass, and then everyone's going to buy a shit ton of skins for $20 a pop. It's a cash cow, dude.
It's crazy. And the thing is that we've seen a lot of these games come out and just like fail massively. And these studios end up getting shut down and like people lose their jobs. And like for me, I feel like right now we've kind of passed the no return, past the point of no return with how companies handle things. Because, bro, everybody signs a contract or something now, or you sign a user agreement before you start using anything. Like, do you see how? Because sometimes, like, the games that we're not really owning things anymore. Like, did you see that in, what was it, League or something? No, what game is getting a sequel?
I don't know.
Shit. I can't remember what it was. But this game, is it Smite? Is Smite getting Smite too? Let me look it up.
Maybe.
I never really played any MOBAs.
No, MOBAs was not my arena.
Yep, so it is Smite 2. But it looks like there's like a lot of skins in the game. Yep, okay, so bro, they said that you can't transfer any skins from the first game at all.
That's bull.
Bro, that's crazy as hell because, bro, people have to because imagine you've been playing a game for a really long time and they're making a sequel and you just find out that, because it looks like, especially with like Overwatch 2, like you said, nowadays it just kind of seems like the point of sequels is to force people to re-spend their time because, bro, that's really the only currency that can keep all these companies making money on this games as a service thing because people want you to like give your time. And the thing is that the stuff that makes the game easier are things that save time.
Yeah.
And bro, games are supposed to be a way of like using your time to have fun. But instead, you're logging into a game and it's like you're starting your third shift of the day. Like, bro.
Oh my God, you're right. Dude, speaking of like, just to be self-aware about, like, I am one of those people, I used to buy, like, I'm heavy into cosmetics in games. Like, I really enjoy cosmetics in games. So like I bought a lot of skins for like guns and characters. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I did last, like all of 2023, I looked it up and I like totaled how much I spent on video games in general, like including the the PlayStation subscription, whatever that you need for Live.
Yeah.
I was aghast. It like totaled, it came out to like $700.
God, in 1 year?
1 year between like battle passes, the subscription, like a new game here. I bought like one new game. I think I bought the new Call of Duty. Like that was it. I spent almost $1,000 on fucking video game cosmetics for the bulk of it, and that really pissed me off because I still suck at all these games.
Bro, as long as you look good, it's okay, man.
No, I look like a beast in the games, and then I suck, and people shit all over me, which is fair. But
Did you watch the Scott Pilgrim show?
No. Oh, but it's really good, right?
Bro, it's quite good. Very big Scott Pilgrim fan. Bro, I had no idea that there was so much discourse around Scott Pilgrim in America. Because when I was a teenager, my brother took me to see the movie. And, you know, we saw the movie and we were like, wow, that's actually really good. And then I went back to Nigeria and I never thought about it again. Obviously, I ended up reading the comics, the novels later. But then, bro, when this show got announced, I saw like people like tweets, like, oh, people were seething about like, oh, Scott Pilgrim is problematic, Scott Pilgrim is this. Whoa. And I remember I saw one of the threads where somebody was writing this whole think piece about why Scott Pilgrim is bad. Somebody was like, bro, you're just recycling Tumblr discourse from 2013. And apparently, a lot of people saw that movie and didn't take any of the lessons that, oh, the characters are supposed to be bad people. Because it literally starts with the sentence, a long time ago in the land of Toronto, Canada, Scott Pilgrim was dating a high schooler. Like, I feel like that's a pretty big, like, introduction of, oh, we're not dealing with like a good human being here.
That's a big miss, I think, in America. Like, for example, like the Joker movie or American Psycho. People are like, yeah, these guys are awesome. Like, really missed the point.
Like, bro, you completely missed the point.
Yeah. I feel like Scott Pilgrim, to be honest, like I was lost on the fact that they were really bad people. I kind of knew they were like not the best, but I didn't realize, I guess it didn't really click for me now that I'm thinking about it.
Because like, no, even when I was a teenager, for me, it was like, okay, so because the whole thing about Scott Pilgrim is that like, oh, everybody knows him, like people know that he's really tough, and it's like, oh, so some dude who you know is like the strongest person in your state is dating a high schooler. Are you gonna call him out on that shit? No, that nigga might beat you up. So you're gonna let him do what he's doing.
Exactly. Oh, the power dynamics. Wow, that's kind of messed up now. It's giving me the ick.
Bro, it's a big ick. And bro, but the thing is, I don't like that in the Scott Pilgrim show, there's literally a scene where, like, minor spoilers, where Scott literally straight up says, I realize now that a 23-year-old man dating a 17-year-old girl is something that should be frowned upon by society. And in my head, it's like, I feel like they really just gave up on the subtext at all. They literally just had to hit people right over the head with it so nobody makes any mistakes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is actually this has thrown me for a tilt.
But yeah, so like literally self-awareness in like the media you consume and how it's affecting you and how you let it affect you. Because like, bro, like self-awareness applies to everything, even fucking like job interviews and things of that nature. Because when I started like doing job interviews in America, I didn't realize how much of it is just about how much the person interviewing you like likes your personality. Because like for me, it's like, oh, I was very, very rigid. I was like, oh, this is me. These are my qualifications, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't literally until I started being like, oh, started cracking jokes and stuff in job interviews that like for me, I got like my first job, like sophomore, junior year.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like literally you can just like, because imagine you can be like a perfect candidate, right? But a person like just doesn't like the vibe that you're putting out and you're not going to get a job. Like that's crazy. So you have to be like super careful about stuff like that.
I think that charisma is one of the best things you can have on your side during interviews because, and I'm even seeing this now, like my company just hired is in the process of hiring somebody else, like hiring someone for a new role. Oh, and there's like I think there was like 3 to 5 people who are all really on the same par, like skills and experience wise. And it just came down to like, who did we like the most? Who do we think is going to vibe the best with the company? And like, that's kind of one of those things that you don't even think about taking into an interview, but it's huge.
Damn.
Like how easy it is to talk to somebody.
What's the worst interview you've ever had?
Oh, I remember it vividly, clearly, bro.
Oh, word?
I don't know, maybe this was college. I was like a sophomore or junior. And I remember I was like we were printing like shirts. Remember like Keep Kind and stuff. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Parks Project.
No, I haven't.
Just throwing it out there. They're like a really successful clothing company that just like all themed around national parks, but they're kind of like, they have cool designs and stuff, and they're really big. And I remember I had no experience in the clothing industry at all, besides the fact that like I sold a few t-shirts like at college. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to apply. They had an internship to like full-time position opening up. And I made it through and it was really intense. There were like 4 total interviews. I made it through the first 3, absolutely smashed them. I did the most I could to prepare. I was like, I dropped the whole, like, what I lack in experience, I'll make up for an effort. Like, I'm really hungry for this.
Word. Letting them know.
Right? And so it was me and these 2 girls who were interviewing me like the whole time. And it was like all virtual. And so then so I'd pretty much at that point, like the first 3, I'd said everything about myself that I possibly could. And then they're like, okay, for the final interview, it's going to be like the founders, us, and some other like people who are high up. I was like, cool. I swear, like, how you just like want to punch yourself, not punch yourself in the face, but like I'm kicking myself even thinking about it now, because I butchered that interview. I crushed all of them except for that one. I was so bad. I was so nervous. I was like stuttering. And then too, when like the interview's not going well, you kind of just get more nervous. Like, I didn't want to repeat anything I had said to these girls. They were like, what do you do? And I was like, I made some shirts and I'm studying film. It's like, oh, there's nothing to do with the role. And then like literally Parks Project, all about national parks in America. He's like, have you been to any national parks? That's a pretty big part for us. And I was like, I literally said it like this. I was like, not yet, but one day I'd like to.
That's tough.
So it was so tough. And I literally remember it, like the interview lasted not even 10 minutes. They were like, okay, we don't have any more questions for you. Do you have any for us? And I was like, honestly, no, I'm very sorry about this, guys. Like, oh my God. And then as soon as I hung up, I knew that was it. I completely dug it. So bad.
It really be like that sometimes.
It just burns being so close and then knowing that like you fucked it completely.
I interviewed at this media company that they're like, oh, their whole thing was that they helped other companies get stuff off the ground. And during my interview, like I did the application, a couple of weeks passed. During my interview, they're talking that like we go through the whole motion. And they're like, oh, I just want you to understand this isn't like a traditional job. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not a traditional job? They're like, oh, well, you don't really get paid. And I couldn't stop the oh that came out. I was like, I was like, I don't really get paid. And they were like, are you the kind of person that money is important to you? Because they're like, oh, I can see that from your resume that you wanted to go into media. Why did you want to take this job? And like, I didn't want to, obviously you don't want to say, oh, because I'm broke.
Yeah.
I just had to say, oh, well, I believe that working in this kind of company can really give me the experience I need to prepare for the media world, because you need to be able to make the pitch, be ready for rejection, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not get that job.
Could have been the O, bro.
Bro, I can't lie, because, dude, I feel like it's crazy to look somebody in the eyes after being in an interview for like 20 plus minutes, and you're gonna be like, oh, by the way, we are not planning to pay you. And bro, you can't expect me to have a normal reaction to that, because, bro, like, I don't dream of labor. Like, dude, you think I dream of calling busy people in the middle of the day to be like, oh, this company I work for would love for you to really give us like 10 minutes of your time to potentially help you with something you might be already doing on your own. Like, bro,
that's crazy. They're like, oh, why are you so passionate about working in this company? And like, I feel like the true response that everyone wants to say that no one does is like, I'm just really passionate about being able to order takeout and watch movies without being broke.
I'm passionate about not being poor.
Yeah, I'm passionate about not being broke.
And the thing is that, like, bro, when I hear things like, oh, they're not dedicating, like, they don't, like, nobody wants to work anymore. Like, bro, literally in every single generation, you can look back, there has been at least one person who said or published, oh, nobody wants to work anymore. Bro, if people really didn't want to work, nobody would be doing jobs. People are looking for jobs and not getting them. Like, people need to wake up.
Yeah, also, and like this kind of goes, like, the internet has really ruined, like, why would a young person who's really ambitious and thinks they can do anything in the world be like, oh yeah, I really want to go work a 9 to 5 and kind of get underpaid as, like, you know, cost of living goes up, when people are literally starting AI porn stars and making 10K a month. Like,
bro, because, like, imagine that you yourself at your age, you're seeing people like clearing 100K doing ridiculous shit, and you just gotta go sit down in your regular office job, like as an accountant or some shit, and you're making like, $55,000 a year max after like 5 years at your company.
Sucks, dude. I fucking put $10 in Dogecoin. I had 130. Like, if I put $100 in there, I'd be retired right now.
Bro, that Dogecoin shit was so crazy.
So whack.
Because literally lost $60,000 because I didn't think it'd go anywhere.
What?
Bro, when the whole Dogecoin thing was starting, he and I were talking, we're like, bro, this shit is gonna pop off. And we're both like, oh yeah. But neither of us really put any serious money into it. I made a couple hundred. Like, I made like...
That's good.
No, like maybe like 1,000 or so off it. But honestly, if I just like dumped a bunch in and let it sit for a couple of months, would have made like 60K.
It's pain. Yeah, hindsight's the best foresight.
Bro, I hate that shit.
I hate it too. Bro, speaking of like interviews and money and stuff, like I had this interview for this company called Masterworks. And
no word.
If you don't know what Masterworks is, this is not a pitch. Basically, like, they're a fintech company. They sell like shares of fine art to people. So this is like their clientele are people who like invest, are cool with putting in like thousands of dollars. Like, instead of buying a Basquiat for millions, they'll throw like 20-30 grand in to get a piece of it. That's the type of, like, that's the whole situation. So it was a really serious, really polished company. The position was like way above my quote unquote pay grade. Like, it was above my level. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna apply. I'm applying to jobs right now. I'm just gonna throw it in there. Get some interviews. I make it all the way to the final interview. I sit through a 2.5 hour in-person interview where like people would rotate in every 30 minutes, ask me new questions, and I crushed it. I crushed it enough to, like, I made it all the way to final interview with like the CEO of the company, right? And I covered all my bases. Again, like, so I have this theme where like I do really good until the final interview and then I just completely fuck it. I prepared for every question. They would ask me like all the technical stuff, like, you know, I had to put a brief together and do a pitch, etc. And the CEO like asked me the most basic job question ever. Just like, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years professionally? But instead of just saying like, I don't know, I was like, don't know why I threw this. I was like, I really want to start a cookie company.
What?
No idea where that came from. Once I said it, I had to stick with it. And everyone in the room, like all 5 people, start hysterical laughing, like hilarious, right? And I was like, okay, I was definitely beat red at that point. Like, I was blushing for sure. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, like, I'm serious. I want to start a cookie company. I have one of the biggest cookie companies in this room. Hilarious. I ended up getting the offer. They were like, yeah, we really like your story, whatever. They gave me the job offer. I ended up taking another job. So when I turned them down, I said in the rejection email, like, you know, you guys didn't take my cookie dream seriously.
Oh my god. Bro, you are so unserious for doing that.
Oh my god. I low-key was thinking, I was like, I should bake some cookies and just ship it to their HQ. And if, like,
bro, you know, that would be funny as hell.
Put like a fake label on it and have them be the most ass cookies the best cookies in the world. I mean, like, I should order cookies from a different place and send them to them.
I know these people. Do you see those people in New York that made like that fake, like fancy restaurant that was literally just their friend's apartment?
No.
Bro, because it kind of goes to going back to self-awareness. Like they literally put this online listing for a restaurant and they made getting a reservation really hard. So a ton of people like booked ahead of time thinking they were going to this really fancy, like exclusive upscale restaurant. But it's just a bunch of college students serving them pretty okayly made food.
That's hilarious.
But that's funny as hell. I feel like there's a lot of easy ways with the way everybody's looking for like clout. There's a lot of easy ways to scam people nowadays. Because we talked about Dogecoin, bro. Crypto, bro. They be scam, bro. So many crypto scams. So many. That shit is crazy.
It's wild. I was really in that space for a while, and it was definitely really crazy.
Sure. No, I can imagine. I can imagine. Because I know you tried the whole NFT thing for a bit.
Oh yeah, I did. It's a weird space. Like we said, hindsight's the best foresight, and I think this is like something that everyone probably who's ever tried investing, even like small or large amounts, it's like it's really easy to get lost in the philosophy of it all. Like it's really easy to be like, oh, this is going to go to the moon and it's going to be like huge. But reality is like when you have some like profits or decent profits, like you should just call it.
Just take that and run for real.
Yeah, take it and run. Like I could have made way more in crypto if I just up profit, like let me call it, or this is a good time, instead of like believing in like the NFTs and crypto is going to be the new future, etc. Which it still might, but like, yeah,
I don't know about all that, but we can hope
for the best. I don't know about all that either, to be honest. I definitely took the crypto pill, and now that I'm off it, I'm like, wow, that was whack.
Like the thing is that I feel like maybe crypto could have some kind of future, but as it is now, I don't know. I need to talk to somebody who's actually qualified about these kind of things.
I have like a little bit in there, and I've just left it alone now for a while, and honestly, it just goes up and down. I don't hear anybody talking about crypto anymore. Like no one's DMing me being like, oh, dude, I'll pay you in Bitcoin. So probably not. A lot of people who move to Panama, Costa Rica, South and Central America love cryptocurrency.
Really?
Yeah, they're just like, I don't want to pay taxes on this, so I'm moving over here and everyone's going to pay me in crypto. So those might be your people if that's what you're into.
Well, if you're looking for internet money, that's where you can go. But no, we talked interviews, crypto. I feel like we spent a lot more time talking about video games than we were meant to.
We did, but video games are, it's a big part of life. Like, video games are awesome.
They are a big part of life. It's weird though that like life just seems like, because life just seems like moments, and I feel like when you play a lot of video games, it's especially easy to recognize that, because the way time passes when you're like playing a game versus how time passes when you're doing something else is completely different. Because like the days, it's because it's like the days are like long, but like the years are short kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because bro, like when I found out I had 1,000 hours in that game, I was like, bro, 1,000 hours. And I still managed to make time to do other stuff. I can't imagine like a life of just doing that thing, just being constantly on that digital grind for like loot.
Yeah, man.
Because that's another thing. What if you've put like 3K hours into a game and then it gets shut down? Like, bro,
this happened to me, bro.
Which game did you play that got shut down? Oh, maybe, Overwatch 1, right?
No, not even that. Like, maybe not 3K, but when I was in high school, I was wildly into video games. Like, I spent a lot. Like, that's pretty much what I did. And there's this game called Dirty Bomb. It was really fun. It was a first-person shooter, and it gained some traction for a while. I was literally ranked top 100 in the world. And then they're just like, we don't have the funds, no one's playing anymore, so we're just killing the game. Sorry, guys. I was like, what?
Crazy. Like, bro, that's the thing. Did you hear about that game? Was it the day before?
Yeah.
Bro, that shit is so crazy. Because imagine lying about your game, taking people's money, and then when everybody calls you out, you literally just say shit happens, and then you shut down your studio.
That's whack as hell. I didn't realize scammers, like, I know scammers are a thing, but it's crazy that people literally are just cool scamming people.
Bro, like, I feel like, like, if you're scamming niggas, I feel like you don't want to try anything else, or at that point, you're just desperate. Because I understand doing it out of desperation. Because I know, but because the thing is that a lot of scammers, if you're good at scamming, there's a lot of easy ways you can scam people.
Oh, yeah.
The craziest scam I ever heard of, right, is on Reddit. This guy explained it back in the 80s when, you know, porn was still like on VHS and shit, right?
Uh-huh.
This guy would run ads saying like to ship porn to people. And the thing is that what he would do is that they'd have them pay for the porn, and then it would have them, then they'd be like, okay, we'll send it to you. But what would do is that these niggas would never send anybody actual porn. What they would do is send like an invoice to like the bank regarding the purchase for confirmation, and they'd write the full title of the porn on like the statement and be like, the purchase of Fat Booty Hose 69 or whatever to Mr. So-and-so at address so-and-so. And what would happen is that a lot of people would just never take these statements to the bank, and this dude would just keep the money. And one day this dude asked him, bro, why do you do this? And this dude was just like, porn is gross. People who watch it deserve to get scammed. And it's like, I'm just like, dog. I mean, that's an interesting way to justify it, but you're still scamming people.
He's still scamming people, but maybe he's one of the better scammers out there.
Like, I can't lie, bro. Maybe he might have cooked just a little bit.
No, that's fresh, honestly. Like, I'd be proud to tell people that.
No, I'm never gonna forget. So I tried having TikTok a couple times, but do you know the reason why I deleted it for real?
Why?
Bro, I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but dude, I opened the app and immediately went into this TikTok live, and it was just this chick, 2 huge boobs, just oiled up and just out, and she's like streaming GTA or something, and I'm like,
what was this, Twitch?
Bro, no, this was TikTok, and I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, because no, the first thing I had to ask myself is, why are they oiled up? First of all,
I couldn't answer that for me.
and second of all, who is watching this? Why? Because like, bro, do you understand that, like, bro, I don't even like be consuming that kind of content at all. But the thing is that, like, apparently you're supposed to like set your like preferences for your TikTok account. I didn't do that, but I guess I should, because it will just show you whatever if you don't set preferences.
Well, a lot of like, that's past thirst trapping, but like, yeah, a lot of thirst trapping, like sexual stuff, is what performs the best on like social media across the board. It's really sad.
Bro, but why did she oil them up, bro? That was that's not necessary.
Let me ask you this. Have you heard of NPC live streams?
Bro, I have, and that shit is mind-blowing to me. The NPC Miles Morales kid, though, he seems like kind of funny, I can't lie.
I don't know him, but like, I've been scrolling and like, I'll see like an NPC live stream, and at first I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with this? It's the most bizarre niche of live streaming that I think exists today. That may sound like harsh, but it's just really strange to me. And like, it's mostly like kids doing it. It's like young people are doing and loving this, which is just kind of weird. And just for anyone who doesn't know what NPC live streaming is, it's a person kind of just pretending to be like an NPC. So like repeating the same short phrases, if you can even call them phrases, and movements. And it's typically, I don't want to say this, but unfortunately, like, it's not like a funny, like, where people like pretend to be the GTA NPCs and they like walk into stuff. Like, those are good skits. This is like, usually like, it's a fetishized NPC / ASMR live stream.
Bro, I didn't even know ASMR was like a sexual thing until I started like checking the comments on like ASMR videos. Because I don't like ASMR. I don't like somebody whispering into my ear like that. But people are like, oh, because no, the first time I saw it, because, okay, first of all, men on the internet have gotten too comfortable with calling young women mommy. Because,
Oh my God.
Because, no, why are you doing that? Where's your actual mother? Like, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. And like daddy, it's just no, I don't ever want to know. It's just it's a bad phrase. It's a bad phrase.
And I hate that I'm getting older and I'm just finding out how creepy niggas my own age are. Because, bro, there was this girl who was like blowing up on TikTok. And like, bro, they're like, I saw all these like niggas like, oh, they making like crazy reaction videos and shit. And I scrolled the comments and somebody was like, bro, isn't she like 15? And I was like, oh. And I said, yo, what?
Oh.
And that's the thing, bro. People won't even check. And sometimes even if they do check, they don't care.
No. Oh my God. Okay. I feel like we have to put some clarifiers on this part of the episode.
I feel like this is going to be heavily censored.
Yeah, we're not shaming anybody.
I feel like we'll need to censor the word titties, but we can leave oiled up so they can like so they can have a better idea.
Yeah, so it's really ambiguous what's being oiled up.
Bro, nah, because what was oiled up though? Alright, that's gonna be the first question people ask, and that's what's gonna bring them back to the podcast.
There you go. So actually, fuck it, no clarifiers. Whatever we said, take what you will from it. Just don't be a creep. And we didn't talk about dating. That was supposed to be in today's episode, but we'll talk about it next time.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank you for listening. We really appreciate you guys tuning in or out. And as always, if you're feeling high, if you're feeling low, you've always got a place to go. We're going to try and put these episodes out weekly. And we just want to leave you with the smooth sounds of Lo-Fi Samurai to bring this out.
Thank you for listening.
Let me